So if you've booked your sternum tattoo, or maybe you're even thinking about booking your sternum tattoo, and you've done a little bit of research and you found out that the pain threshold is right up there with 10 out of 10, and you're not quite feeling that, and you're thinking, well, what could it be like with a bit of numbing cream? You've come to the right video. I'm about to tell you what my experience was like with TKTX 55% numbing cream on a sternum tattoo that I had a couple of weeks ago. Let's get into it. Hello YouTube world, if you're new, welcome to my channel. My name's Katie. If you're not new, welcome back, love. So in today's video, as I said, we're going to go over my sternum tattoo and my experience that I had with TKTX 55% numbing cream. If you haven't already, I have a video out with this tattoo experience with 40% TKTX numbing cream. So if you fancy it, it probably work better if you want to watch the journey, then I'll throw up a link here in this corner. That's where that video is. Feel free to pause this, go and watch that, come back, or you can watch this and watch the other one if you want. You know, who am I to judge? You do whatever you want. It just will probably work better in a journey if you were to watch the first video, and this would make a little bit more sense. So this is a video that I've been wanting to do, but waiting, because the sternum tattoo actually healed a lot quicker than my secret tattoo, which was my thumb. So I had a thumb tattoo on the same time. There's two little dots there as well, which is a Libra symbol, which is on the top of my Libra goddess head as well. Yeah, surprise, surprise, I'm a Libra. So I got the thumb tattoo as a Libra sign, and then there's two dots there, one to represent my dog, who's Marley, he is a Libra as well, and one to represent myself. My birthday's the 16th, and his birthday is the 10th. So the experience is going to be broken into two parts. Obviously, it's going to be the sternum experience, and then it's going to be the thumb tattoo experience, which are very different experiences. So yeah, hold on to your seats if you're looking for a finger tattoo or a thumb tattoo or any sort of hand tattoo. To follow on from my last video, we all know that I was booked in to get the sternum tattoo, and I was going to use 55% TKTX numbing cream as opposed to the 40% green TKTX numbing cream that I used for this. Again, if you want to know my experience with that, please go and watch that previous video with the link just slightly earlier in the video. The experience was fairly similar in the fact that it worked. It definitely worked. There is no way that it didn't work. There is no way. So the pain threshold that I was researching and everything was telling me was pretty much a 9-10 out of 10 pain threshold on the sternum, which is, you know, you can kind of gather that it's a really thin piece of skin. It's going to be a little bit uncomfortable. It's going to be a bit painful. However, I strongly recommend using numbing cream. My experience was not 10 out of 10. My experience was a, drum roll please, 1 out of 10 pain threshold. And the only reason it was a 1 out of 10 is because I felt this top one here, and I felt this bottom one here. I will show you a close-up of the tattoo shortly. I'll just go through a little bit so that you can understand before I show you. So this top one and this bottom star, those are the only points that I felt. So that's where the 1 out of 10 comes from. And the only reason I felt these parts is because I didn't apply enough cream to the top and the bottom parts, because I didn't know how far it was going to go. I slathered myself before the appointment. You do this an hour before. So if you don't know how to apply a numbing cream, you use a thick layer of this. You lay it over the area and more. Wherever you think your tattoo is going, put it extra, because I didn't go top enough and I didn't go bottom enough, but I definitely did this part, and I also went over me boob a little bit because I wasn't sure if she was going to go over there, and I'm damn well happy that I did, because this part actually slightly goes over. Now I'll show you just a little bit of B-roll of my tattoos a little bit closer so that you can understand the exact design that I got. So this is a Sanskrit symbol for the word breathe. I added these extra little sections. So this is a symmetry, basically. What you see on the top here is exactly on the bottom here with the Sanskrit symbol for breathe in the middle. Sanskrit is one of the most oldest ancient texts that we have available in our history. It's incredibly fascinating to look into, and I highly recommend if there are any spiritual beings out there looking into it, because it does point a lot to the universe, consciousness, and it's real interesting. So again, I felt 1 out of 10 on this sternum tattoo. There was nothing at all I could feel except the top and the bottom stars. A little bit of advice about when you are going to have your sternum tattoo if you are going to use numbing cream. Number one, make sure that you use enough. I have this little tube here. It's a 10-gram tube, and you can see how much I've used out of it, and I probably could have used a bit more, as I said, for the top and the bottom. Make sure you slather enough on the areas that you are getting tattooed, but also, like I said, please go just slightly outside the area because you're not really sure how far it's going to go placement wise. You might get there and decide I want it slightly a little bit higher, lower, left or right. You know, you might decide that the artist might decide that actually you've got it to make it symmetrical. Sometimes they do have to put it on a slight angle. So anyway, the point of it is just make sure you slather enough on, make sure you do it an hour before, and then make sure that you wrap that area in cling film. I do not rub in the cream. I leave the cream as a nice thick layer and then put the cling film on. But what I then do is about 10 to 15 minutes before my appointment, I peel back wherever the cling film is on the area, and I then do rub in the area a slight bit. So obviously you've got quite a lot of cream still on there because it's a thick placement that you've done. So use that thick cream that you have already on the area to just rub it in slightly. That's what I do. You don't have to do it. I'm just saying that's what I do. I then put back the cover, and 10-15 minutes later, my tattoo eye starts working on me and I can't feel a thing. Another pointer for when you're getting your sternum tattoo, and you will hear this consistently, but I'm going to drill it in again, is make sure to breathe. Okay? Make sure to breathe. I know that it's going to be weird. It's going to be foreign to you because somebody is literally putting pressure on your chest, and your reaction is to stop breathing. Like, it really is, like, your reaction is to just go and just stop while they're doing it, and then when they stop, breathe again. Do not do this. Okay, do not do this. You are okay to breathe. You are absolutely okay to breathe. You don't feel any different. It doesn't feel weird. You don't, there's nothing, right? There's nothing. It's absolutely normal. So please breathe like normal. And also keep your talking to a minimum. Okay, so the tattoo itself probably lasted about 40 minutes, 45 minutes. She's really, really quick at doing her work. However, we were talking, but not as much as we were when she was doing my arm tattoo, right? And it just makes sense, doesn't it, that if you're talking, that your breathing motion isn't going to be the same as the breathing motion that you're doing without talking, and so you might get those slight altercations that you don't want. Keep talking to a minimum. Now I'm going to talk about my thumb tattoo. This had 40% numbing cream on it because this was basically a test, right? So I had 40% on here. I'm pretty much going to be your guinea pig right? I'm going to do all different percentages on all different tattoos, and I'm going to see the difference in the experience and things like that. So if that's something that you would be interested in, then hit the subscribe button here right now, just so that you get notified. I'll also hit the bell as well, because YouTube won't notify you if you don't hit the bell. So hit the bell so that you can get new notifications when I post these videos, and you'll be the first to watch them and then know some advice. So this was done with 40%. This was done with 40%, and this was done with 55%. So what I did was, when I was at the tattoo place, before I got my tattoos done or anything like that, that's when I put the cream on my thumb, right? So I turned up to the tattoo place with the cream and the cling wrap on my chest, and nothing on my thumb. When I got there, that's when I put the 40% cream on, and I wrapped it with some cling film, although I didn't wrap it properly, right? I could have wrapped it and got some microporous tape and probably sealed it on a little better. I'll be honest with you, it was kind of coming off a little bit, but the cream was on there. So when the tattoo was being done for the sternum, I figured that this would be making its magic, right? So that when the sternum was done and we were going on to the thumb tattoo, finger tattoo, hand tattoo, what you want to call it, that this wouldn't hurt. No. That's not what happened. That's not what happened at all. Very, very different experience from the sternum. Incredibly different. So, before I even got the tat, she turned around to me and said, by the way, hand tattoos are one of the most painful tattoos you can have. I said, okay. Damn well hope this works. Spoiler, it didn't. So I was like, all right, well, I've heard this anyway, so, let's hope that the cream works. I sat down on the chair, she brought her little thing forward, I put my thumb down, and she said, right, are you ready? I said, yeah, let's go. She did the 2 dots first under the nail bed. Mm. 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 Ow! Ow! I said to her, that's not very nice, is it? She was like, no, it's not. Right under the nail bed. That absolutely killed. Right, that killed. That was horrible. She had to go over it a couple of times as well, and I'm gonna need to get this filled in as well, and I'll talk about that briefly after this. Why? But I'm gonna need to get these dots redone. This bit, this Libra section here, wasn't that bad, and I believe it's because the cream tried to work. It really, really tried to work. 40% is not going to do it. I don't even think 55% is going to do it. I think I'm going to need 70%. So future video, 70% on another hand tattoo coming. But that'll be next year when my tattoo artist is back, because she's currently pregnant. However, this bottom line that she went over about 5 or 6 times, I wasn't about to punch her like some people say they're about to punch their tattoo artist, but oh my word, that weren't nice. That was not nice at all. So if I'm going to give you a pain threshold, the pain threshold is a 5 out of 10, only because the cream was on there and tried to work. I tell you now, that would have been a 10 out of 10 if I hadn't have put any sort of cream on there. I don't think it worked properly, which is why I felt most of it, but I was able to sit there with my thumb on the desk like this and just wait. I was able to watch her do it. There was no squirming. There was no fainting, which was great, because if you've watched my previous video, you'll know that I faint at tattoos. So I'm always going to use this now. I'm always going to use numbing cream, if only not to stop me fainting. So the healing process for the sternum was absolutely fine. It healed the exact same time that this one pretty much healed in, like, well, it did take a little bit longer. This one I'd say healed in like 4 to 5 days. This one did take about a week. My thumb tattoo, however, that took like well over a week, and it's obviously because you're using your hand a lot more than, you're using this part of your body. So I was quite happy to know that the sternum experience was just a normal experience for me to go through, just like any other tattoo really that I've had with numbing cream. There was no redness after. There was no extra pain after. The exact same experience as this, if not slightly better, because it was less time and there was only that small part that I only felt. Whereas this, there was about half an hour to 40 minutes where I could feel, but again, it was nothing compared to what it would have been without the cream. So healing process absolutely fine. I use this same cream that I showed you in my last video, which I'm trying to see if I have to hand, but I don't. But it's the Pepanthem tattoo specific cream, and I use that for all my tattoos. And like I said, this one healed fine, but the thumb one, that took a while. So be prepared to keep using cream on this one more than any other tattoo on your body. Maybe, I don't know what others are like because I haven't got there yet. But hand tattoos really do need to be moisturized quite a lot more than the average. So then, just to kind of finish on what I was going to say earlier in reference to the dots and why I may have to have them filled in, is because my tattoo artist did tell me that these are very, they're exposed areas of the skin. They are exposed to a lot of things, a lot of chemicals, a lot of everything really that you do with your hands every day. And so you are going to get a different effect from somewhere where it's covered all the time, like a sternum. So these two dots that I got here that you can see, they were actually bigger. They were bigger when I got them done, and they look off center because that one there was bigger. So they looked fine. Like, they still look fine to me, but I know that those dots were bigger. And so what's happened is, I think my skin, out of just sort of doing stuff, I'm quite an avid active person. I do quite a lot of gardening. I'm always picking things up. I'm always doing things. I'm always active. So I think that personally, I am a product of my own demise, really. I should have wore gloves more when I was doing the gardening. I should have looked after it a bit better. This part is absolutely fine, but I didn't anticipate just how sensitive the under the nail bed would be and how often you may need to get it infilled if you don't take care of it in those first couple of weeks. If you're going to go and get a sternum tattoo, or if you're thinking of getting one, or if you've booked one and you're just really not down for the pain, I recommend highly at least 55% TKTX numbing cream. I said it in my last video, I'll say it again. Make sure you get original, real TKTX. There are loads of fakes out there, including on Amazon. Please do not buy your numbing cream on Amazon. Make sure that it has the gold seal. There is an official authentication, 100% authenticate seal. Make double sure that the website you are buying it from has the authority to sell this cream. Otherwise, it will not work. I think that's it. To summarise, 1 out of 10 pain, and only because I didn't spread it thick enough and long enough, so make sure you do. 5 out of 10 pain because the cream really did work. Try to work. Had I not have had any cream on there, I don't think I would have gone through that. That was horrendous. Any finger, hand tattoos, that was awful as well. I had that years and years and years ago, but that was awful too. Any hand tattoos, ow. So I'm going to make sure that I use 70% on my next one. And of course, I'll document everything. So if you enjoyed this video and you got something out of it, please hit the like, comment, subscribe. I know you don't want to hear it. I know you hear it all the time, but honestly, that stuff really helps a small channel grow. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do right now, is grow my YouTube channel. So if you want to be a part of helping my journey and help me grow, please do consider just hitting that like button and subscribing for future videos. Other than that, I think we're done. Go and get your sternum tattoo. Go and get any tattoo you want. If you're scared of it, just go and get some numbing cream. I love you guys. Until next time, take care of yourselves and take care of each other.